welcome to my YouTube channel. This is In the Quiet with Christina, and I have a good word for today. And I'm kind of just gonna go just real off the fly. I'm just gonna let the Holy Spirit lead me through this text and this message. And but I do have some points that I want to talk about that I want to share. Today I was going to talk about forgiveness and what that looks like, what it feels like, and what that process is leading up to forgiveness. So, with that being said, the text that I'm reading from is Ephesians 4th chapter, 32nd verse. And it says, "And be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God, for Christ's sake, had forgiven you." This is very important because a lot of times when people or when we feel like people have done us wrong, we feel like they owe us something, but we don't owe them anything. A lot of times in a lot of situations where there are disagreements or you may not be getting along with someone, it's both ways. And he's saying that we have to forgive one another. So it's forgiveness on both ends. And we have to remember that when we're in the moment and we're upset and we're angry, or we try to figure out why is this happening, why did this person do this to me. It could be your job, it could be a family member, it could be a situation with a friend and you have a disagreement and nobody wants to come to terms with putting the olive branch out there to say. So, yeah, we have to forgive one another. And some pointers that I wrote down for today are: we are all his children. We must forgive because he loves that person. So we have to love them too. He loves them in all their faults. So we have to love them too. No, we might not like how that person is or what they do or what they've done to us, but we still have to forgive. And if we're trying to be Christ-like and we're trying to be more like him, he would forgive. He would definitely forgive. He'd probably do that and a lot more. And we have to remember it's okay to forgive and be friendly towards one another. I'm a firm believer in people can make amends, and we have to let whatever situation that has torn you apart, you have to let that situation go. You can't harp on it. You can't keep going over it through and through because this one wants to be right, that one wants to be right. This one wants to point the finger at that one. At some point, somebody's got to extend the olive branch. At some point, somebody has to say, hey, enough is enough. Let's get along. Let's move forward. So, God can use any situation and any person as an example of your forgiveness. So he could use anybody from any walk of life to help you learn more about yourself. And when you forgive somebody, you open doors that could lead you to other places. Sometimes we forget that, even like at work or something that is supposed to be more about the people or You might be working on a project with someone, and because you didn't forgive them and you weren't willing to work with them and you weren't willing to put your pride aside and be humble, you might have missed out on your blessing. So we have to always remember there could be circumstances where that could be your blessing, that could be your open door to something. That person that you're mad at, you could be really great friends with if you were to forgive them, sit down and make amends, and who knows what could have happened. So we have to remember that also. And then as his children, we have to set the example. So we can't be looking at somebody else to apologize first. He expects you to do that. He expects you to be humble and have humility and have grace and mercy for people. And we have to look at sometimes what people are going through and what they have gone through in order to, go ahead and forgive them. Go ahead and set them free from the stress and turmoil that you might be causing them. So we also have to do that. And then we also have to remember that we have to look at ourselves first. So we might be looking at somebody like, they did me wrong, even though it takes two to argue. You could be looking at them like, they did me wrong, and now I'm not going to talk to them. I'm not going to converse with them. I'm not going to associate myself with them. That's not how you should do it. So he expects you to be the one to say, hey, let's sit down and talk. Or, hey, you know what, I misunderstood what you said. Let's talk about it. Let me apologize. Let me forgive you. Because when you forgive somebody, that's showing love. And when you show love towards somebody, more than likely, you're going to get that back. Because love is powerful. And when a person sees that you honor them enough and think about them enough to apologize, they're going to be more willing to do the same thing for you. And some people that you thought would have been your worst enemy, your worst nightmare, can be somebody that you say, hey, I know that that's a good person because I sat down and I talked to them and I got to know them and I understood that I needed to apologize, or I misunderstood what they said. I misunderstood what happened. So yeah, and we have to give each other grace because we're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. I'm definitely not perfect. But we strive every day to be better people, and that means making better decisions and different decisions. So forgiveness is a very simple term, but it holds a lot of weight because if we don't do it, it can have a lot of consequences behind it, and we don't even realize it sometimes. So yeah, using myself for example, you know, there was a situation in my life where I was very, very angry at these certain people, and I could, even though I was saying I was forgiving them, I really wasn't because I was still angry. And when you forgive somebody, there shouldn't be any anger, there shouldn't be any hate, there should be some sense of peace because you know that you wholeheartedly forgive that person. And when you forgive somebody, it's always good to look at what is the good out of that person. What is something good that you see out of them that maybe you overlooked, or maybe you took the wrong way? Because sometimes people have bad deliveries. They have bad deliveries with how they say things and do things. So we just have to, we just have to think about that. So, and that's basically what I have for today. I hope that what I said resonated with somebody. I hope that it can help you with your day to day. Maybe it's somebody that you're going to see tomorrow that you need to exercise this with, that you need to remind yourself about. So, yeah. Thank you for listening and see you guys next time.